Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, to our cruise line members, executive partner members, industry colleagues, and our friends from the media, welcome. Thank you for joining us for the launch of the 2015 Australian Cruise Industry Source Market Report. Today is a report that's been released on the total number of Australians taking an ocean cruise around the world, and we have seen just over 1 million reported as enjoying the fruits of what a cruise holiday has to offer in all regions. Within that 1 million passengers, we see that about 70% of them are taking a cruise close to home or from a home port, which would encompass cruises in and around Australia, New Zealand and the South Pacific. Well, as the cruise industry continues to grow, so too does the interest of many different stakeholders. So for those of you that are attending this presentation for the first time, a warm welcome. Now, it might just help if I clarify that this report is designed to measure source market data that highlights the size, growth and trends of domestic and outbound Australian cruise passenger numbers only. The biggest and probably most exciting growth story out of the numbers was Asia. Asia's quite an interesting destination in its own right, but also cruise lines are really getting excited about the opportunity that potentially exists in Asia to grow a new source market, similar to the way we've seen Australia grow in the last decade. And so what we're seeing is more ships being deployed into the region. That obviously gives people that live locally a great opportunity to discover cruising for the first time, but also it gives other nations like Australia and New Zealand the opportunity to experience a diverse range of cultures within one cruise itinerary in Asia. To reveal just how we did perform in 2015 with our ocean cruise numbers, I'd like to make a very warm welcome to the stage the Chairman of CLIA Australasia, Steve Odell.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Brett, and welcome, everyone. I'm delighted to be here in my new capacity as CLIA Chairman Australasia. But it would be very remiss of me to not let this opportunity pass by giving some thanks to two retiring people from our CLIA board, Anne Sherry and Gavin Smith. They both stood down at the AGM a couple of weeks ago, and as you know, they have been real stalwarts for our industry and people who've driven our interests very hard over the last few years.
The number of Australian ocean cruise passengers carried by CLIA member lines last year rose by a further 14.6% to a new record of 1,058,781.
But that's not all the good news. It gets better. The 2015 result equates to an impressive growth rate of 14.6% on 2014, when 923,000 Australians took an ocean cruise. As Brett will show you in a minute, that's the second highest growth rate achieved by an international cruise market last year. The 2015 figure also translates into another record, with Australia clocking up the strongest market penetration globally, with an equivalent of 4.5% of the Australian population taking a cruise in 2015. So that not only puts us at the top of the table, but it also gives us the distinction of being the only cruise region to exceed the 4% figure. So those are the headlines. It's a fantastic result, and it's testament, I would say, to the hard work that comes from all around our industry in Australia. So it's now my pleasure to hand back to Brett, who will show you some more of the detail underneath these numbers. Congratulations once again to everyone, and thank you very much.
Some of the brands are more focused on the short break style of cruise, and that gives people an opportunity to experience cruise for the first time. And we know that we deliver a very high repeat factor from cruise passengers, so therefore what we'll see is those people coming back for a longer cruise at a later date. 2 million passengers by 2020, Absolutely, that's our target, and I'm sure, all being well, we will be able to achieve that.